energy is intention. Everything's intention. Energy goes where it's meant to go. So wherever you direct your intention is where it's going to go. And that's why I say to everybody, I'm choosing love over fear. So whatever you feed your energy is what grows and grows and grows. You're going to feed more fear, you're going to get more fear. You're going to feed more love, you're going to get more love.
Welcome to the Light the Day podcast, where we explore spiritually transformative experiences. I'm your host, Julie Clough, and before we get started on our story today, I want to remind you to subscribe and like this episode. Leave a comment for our guests. We really appreciate that. We really appreciate the interaction. And when you subscribe, if you're on YouTube, be sure to hit that bell so you'll receive a notification when a new episode comes out. Today, I am thrilled to have Michelle Troupe here, and I'm excited to hear your story, Michelle. How are you?
Good. How are you?
Good, great. I'm really thrilled that you agreed to do this today. We met a few months ago in a class, and I haven't had a lot of opportunity to understand or hear more of your stories, so this will be fun. Um, Before we get started on what makes Michelle Michelle and all the things that have happened, just tell us a little bit about yourself and what you do.
So I am creator and owner of Earth Angel Healing. I'm a multidimensional quantum healer. I am an intuitive, and I am a certified sound healer, Reiki master teacher, integrated energy therapy master teacher, and munay-KiPractitioner. So a little bit of this and a little bit of that from the energy perspective. I've been doing it for over 13 years. I've had my business for 13 years. And I'm very, very passionate about what I do. And it took me some time to get here, but this is my purpose.
Yeah, I love that. I love that so much. So take us back a little bit and share about your discoveries of your spiritual nature or your spiritual gifts, or, take us back to where your story begins.
So if I go as far back as I would say that I was a teenager, I've I've always been very sensitive and a sensitive. And I struggled very much in middle school and high school. And one of the few things that kept me grounded and kind of kept me going is being outside and playing soccer.
Mm,
Um, Otherwise, I was very sensitive to other people, their emotions, their feelings, to the point where I could feel like I knew what people were saying and what they were thinking.
mm,
So that whole teenage, and I went through a bullying stage where I was bullied in junior high, and so I had to go to Catholic high school, and so I really didn't start to feel comfortable until I was like into college or young adult, because I could kind of be more free and do what I wanted to do.
okay.
Um, but I pursued a career that was more of what everybody else wanted, not what I wanted. And while also during that time, I was experiencing a lot of medical issues.
Mm,
So um, it took till I was in my mid 20s, 30s I started dabbling in holistic stuff just for my own physical conditions. And one of the things I was doing was I had gone to somebody for Reiki. So it kind of got me tuned into that. And I was doing acupuncture and I got into herbal stuff. And then in 2012, 2009, I ended up having a medical, a full hysterectomy, um, which helped with all the physical issues. And I knew that's part of why I was having all of that.
mm,
Um, And then in 2012, I had, a major life event with my family. Um,
Mhm.
while the same year I was going through some tough times with my job. Um, uh, 2008, I lost someone to suicide, a young man that I helped raise. He was 18 when he took his life. So, like
Wow.
2008, 2009, I just continuously had all these different episodes and situations. Um, and then when I walked out of work one day and I just finally looked up to the sky and I finally said, I can't do this anymore. This is
Mm.
not what I want to do. This is not my passion. And I went and got called in my boss's office, got asked questions. Why couldn't you, why could this, why not that? And why can't you? And I just finally said, I can't do your job, my job, and everybody else's job in 40 hours a week. And for the first time ever, I spoke my truth and I spoke up at my job, not worrying about what was going to happen. And I knew
Mm.
as soon as I left that I'd probably be gone within a month. And I was. But it started between that and a life event with my family, it started my journey into this. Um,
And that was 2012?
yes. So in 2000, it was like 11/30, 2012, and then 12/1/12. And everybody talks about everything happening in 2012 and December. Um, that's when I started this journey on this path. And I it took me a long time to move through all the trauma, all the pain, everything that I'd experienced just in this life, let alone whatever I brought here with me.
Yeah.
Um, the only one in my family that connects with any of this, and which has not been easy. So,
Yeah. So you're saying
um,
you're the only one in your family that connects to any of this?
oh yeah,
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah.
I
So
think a lot of people listening, including myself, can appreciate that.
yes, but I have to. So I would have never have thought that I would be doing what I'm doing now. And I would have never have thought that. I always knew at a very young age that deep in my heart, no matter what, I knew I was always going to be safe.
Hmm.
Even though I may not have felt it a lot of times, there's this inner voice and this feeling that's like, you're going to be fine. You're always going to be fine. Um, and I also knew that I was here to help others. I knew that. I just took me that long to figure out how and in what way.
Yeah.
Um, and this is my passion. I absolutely love what I do.
Yeah.
And I choose to live it in even when I'm not with clients, when I'm out there, out and about, every day I choose to move from the heart space, to
Mm.
live from my heart space. It's not always easy, but it's been a journey. It's been a long ride, but this is 13 years for me now, and I feel like a major cycle ending, major
Wow.
karmic cycle ending. I
Wow.
cleared through so much lineage stuff that now I'm helping others do the same.
That's amazing. So in 2012, when you left your job, what did you already have some things in place? Were you already trained in any of this? What was your discovery process? Because you're saying like, I'm the only one in my family following like, how did you end up coming across energy work and this
So
type of intuitive work?
so I had dabbled a little bit when I was going through the physical stuff, and I had always been drawn to do things more holistically.
Okay.
Um, but when I had that family event um, with my family, it just it opened the doorway, and I bumped into a childhood um, friend of mine. Well, it's my one of my friend's mother, but I call her my spiritual mama. And I bumped into her in the Sam's, and I hadn't seen her in like 8 years. And we just started talking. I told her about my hysterectomy, and I'm moving through that and still trying to heal from that and the things with my family, what had happened. And she's like, well, you should come do Reiki. You should come to the shares.
Mm.
And I started doing that, and they would have me come up to the table, like, just start working on people. I'm like, but I want to tune to it. They're like, you're already doing this. And I just, it just all started to happen, and I connected with it. And
And that was
um,
after you left your job, huh?
yeah,
Wow.
yeah. So, well, no, it was probably about 6 months before I left my
Okay,
job.
okay.
And
So it's
then that started, yeah.
yeah.
And it started to kind of weave in, but I had nothing. And it was funny because everybody that I knew in the world and what I was doing HR and I was a benefits manager. And they would always say, if anything happens, you can come work for me. And I had 3 or 4 companies that were doing, which had said that. And when everything happened and I made the phone calls, it was like nothing. So
Uh,
everything that I had, all those connections, and it was so easy for me to always get a job. I couldn't get anything. And I knew it's like every ounce of me was like, this is done. This is done. You have to decide because this
yeah.
isn't. And I had no problems ever getting hired anywhere. I knew so many people. And I kept, it was the no's, no answers, no. And I'm like, yeah, this isn't, and I was going further into Reiki. So I learned level 1 and level 2. And I was doing drum circles, and then I went into, and I'm like, this is it. And I was doing card readings and I picked it up, and it was happening so fast
Hmm.
that, and then I'm remembering all these things from childhood. I'm like, I didn't make that stuff up. That stuff happened. I didn't
Mm,
dream it. That actually happened. So it's like the Pandora's box. Everything just
yeah.
started to to fly open, and I'm just like, all right, I'm taking a leap of faith. And I went through my savings, everything I went through my savings to help a family member, but at the same time, I'm doing this.
Yeah.
And I was making a lot of money, but no, not my passion. And my health and everything I didn't like what I was doing. I was miserable. I was so miserable inside.
It's so interesting because I have this visual. It's almost and this may resonate with you or not, but it just feels like it's almost like you got on the path that everybody wanted you to get on for you to feel like this isn't the right thing for me.
Hmm.
Like it's almost like you had to do that in
Hmm.
order to make the shift over and really feel solid in the change. But it also feels like you just ran into this. Like I have this visual of you running into this crossroads, into this like split in the road, but there was a barrier on the one side where that path you were on wasn't even available to you anymore. Like it's like your soul prearranged for you to have this new, to have this experience and to move down this energetic path. I don't know, but that's what
Yes.
it feels like. That's what I'm seeing.
Yeah. And that is. And I have a tendency to um and a lot of what I do, and I'm learning that, I've been learning that more and more the past year, is I have a tendency to see things far ahead,
Mm,
but but I tend to just jump right into it because I think I have to do it now because my whole life was do, go. And in that world, I was working 55, 60 hours a week, and all I knew was work, and it wasn't fulfilling. It was nothing but stress. And it took me a long time to deprogram and to move out of that. And I literally went from one extreme to the other. And I spent a couple years just living off of savings, my retirement account and whatnot, and because I had to really deprogram and shift and change and heal from so many things. And then I'd had people in my ear. I don't understand why you're doing this. You made so much money. Why, dude, you made so much money, made so much money, you made so much money. And I'm like, it's that program of survive, survive, survive. You have to survive. You have to do to survive. It's about surviving. It's about surviving. It's about surviving. And I'm like, I'll be fine. No, we're not doing this. I can't,
Yeah.
I'm not. And I feel like I'm the one that said, enough of this. We didn't come here to survive. We didn't come here to suffer. We didn't come here for pain and trauma. We came here to create and create a beautiful world for ourselves and for our children and their children and their children and their children, not to keep carrying on this suffering, this pain and slavery and all that other stuff, which is in many forms. And I
Yeah.
felt like I was literally like a slave to the system, to everything.
Yeah.
And I remember wanting to be a special ed teacher, and you're not going to make any money doing that. Or I went to, they don't make any money. And it's like, and I was doing everything to make everybody else happy. But my, I know my dad did the same thing. Like, you're doing things to get everybody else's approval, and that for them to be so proud of you, and you know that you're so wonderful. You did it, and I did everything that everybody else wanted me. I even got married and married someone who is everybody else was like, well, he's different when he's with you. You can change him. He's a better person. And I always did everything for the wrong reasons. It was never for me. It was
Mm-hmm.
always for everybody else to make everybody else happy.
Mm-hmm.
So, I, yeah. And I'm finally gotten to a place where I'm making decisions for me, and this is about me. And when I can do that, that's what I radiate out. Self-care, self-love, um, self-respect,
Yeah.
honoring yourself, your truth, um, and still, my family's just like, all right, well, they like throw their arms up at me, and I'm like, I'm happy,
Yeah.
and that's what matters. Everything else will come, but my abundance has been more of love and all of that, and I've been making more and more room for the money, the financials, all the other stuff to come in. But I had to do the heart stuff, the
Yeah.
stuff I had to do that first, and I know that. Um, and I wouldn't change it for anything in the world.
Yeah. It's interesting because as you say that, and I think about the people, those of you that are listening, the people that are listening to this, and I think I feel like the majority of people who are listening to this are in this same camp where they're feeling the energy and they're moving through life with the energy, with this spiritual, in a spiritually led life.
Hmm.
And I feel like most people will be centered and understand this message of um, that heart-centered living, that, living for ourselves. But I also know that there are those, and I'm asking this question for two reasons, and I'm giving a little bit of a setup, a little bit of a disclaimer on this, because I know that there's people listening that will go, yeah, it's like if we don't love ourselves, we have so much less love to share with others.
Hmm.
It's just a kink in the whole love system. If we can't receive love, it's hard to emanate love. Like, we do it, but we do it in a very restricted way. And so understanding that importance, but I know that there's people that are listening that have people they love who are saying the same things, right? Like, Why are you doing that? Why are you you're making a mistake. You're not living the programmed life that has been
Hmm.
designed for humanity for eons of years, and especially, in our current um, information age, it's all about getting ahead, and especially in the Western world. So they're dealing with that. But then there's also people who are listening that are still in this space of like, this feels selfish. Like focusing on what is it that I want and what feels resonant to me. I'm just wondering what your thoughts are about that.
So, um, I get that and I understand that. And it is taking me a long time to realize that until you acknowledge you, until you acknowledge every aspect of you, the emotional aspect, the physical aspect, the mental aspect, until you acknowledge it, you can't truly, as you said, you can't truly give to anybody else and can't be there for yourself because you will run, you can't run on empty.
Hmm.
You just can't do it. And when you're projecting that out and you're living your life that way, you're going to pull in and attract everything that's going to keep on draining you. And you'll get to this space and place where, and this is kind of what how I felt. It's like something's got to give.
Hmm.
Something's got to give because and that's how I felt when I walked out that door at my job. It's like it doesn't matter. 2, 3, 4, 5 years from now, I won't be worth anything to myself or anybody else because you get the health, everything, mentally, emotionally, physically, and spiritually. You'll be there's a total disconnect for me in that realm. Um, Depleted, like you can't, and that was the physical ailments and um, the tiredness and uh, the self-worth, the value, I mean, how you value your time.
Hmm.
And I can tell you that, and one thing that I would say to anybody is all you have to do is take 10 minutes, just take 10 minutes every morning, and you can do that. You get up 10 minutes earlier. Take 10 minutes to yourself, whether you go outside, you stand on the ground, you breathe. If you have woods in the backyard, you take your cup of coffee. You have to have, you take your cup of coffee, you go outside, you stare at the trees, you drink that coffee with a purpose.
Hmm.
Breathe with a purpose. You smell the flowers and you listen with a purpose and just be present. And when you do that, the energy and the bliss and the peace and the grounding and that presence, being in that I am presence, being in that moment will shift so many things for you. And you start your day better than you've probably ever started your days most of your life. It just gives you this invigoration. It gives you more caffeine than coffee would. It's just it's an upliftment. Even to ask yourself, okay, well, what's my purpose today? I'm going to smile at everybody I see today. No matter what, I'm going to smile. And I want to feel I want to have that feeling inside of how it feels just to smile, to look at an animal or a tree or nature and just view it and observe it from my heart without thinking about the day. Or I'm going to breathe for 2 minutes, even if I have to count to get my mind out of my head. And then you'll start to realize when you smile at somebody or you do that, and then you feel that interaction that you get back, then your heart just starts to open. And you realize, wow, like doing that little bit for myself, this is what I get in return. And you start filling your cup of gratitude, your cup of love, yeah, your cup of joy, your cup of peace. Um, and you can go outside and not be affected and not take on and get caught up in whatever chaos is going on in the world right now.
Yeah. That makes so much sense. And I think if, there was a time when I don't know if I would have understood the beauty of what you just shared. There was a time when, life was just busy and nothing felt intentional. Nothing felt mindful,
Hmm.
where it's those really simple things like you talk about, like just, standing on the earth and just intentionally feeling the energy of the earth supporting you, feeling the sun on your face, hearing the birds. It's just this intentional bringing in of all that beautiful light and energy and support, and it goes unnoticed so often. And there's just such a difference. Even if in this moment right now we just took a moment and we just thought about doing that in that way versus when I just open the door and take the dog out and I'm, like shuffling papers or distracted by other
Hmm.
things instead of being intentional and going, okay, this is my opportunity to also stand on the earth and to notice that support, to feel that sun on my face, to feel the joy of just looking at beauty of nature around me, or whatever it is that, lights up your experience. There just really is something so powerful about that. I think we dismiss these things that are simple.
Oh, absolutely. I change my routine. So sometimes I'll go in the backyard and look at the trees. Sometimes I'll stand at I have a little altar here, and I'll stand there and I'll just start doing my breath work. And then I have this little process that I do every morning. And I may have to be somewhere and I may only get 5 minutes to do it. But I know that if I don't do that, I have a different day.
Mhm.
So even if I take, because energy is intention, everything's intention. Energy goes where it's meant to go. So wherever you direct your intention is where it's going to go. And that's why I say to everybody, I'm choosing love over fear. So whatever you feed your energy is what grows and grows and grows. You're going to feed more fear, you're going to get more fear. You're going to feed more love, you're going to get more love. That
Yeah.
was I in the past couple of days I've been saying this to a couple people, and I've had a lot of people like today, this restaurant I was popping for lunch or whatever. He's like, and he whispers to me and he's like, uh, I said, what's going on with you? And he's like, well, are you real like political, whatever? I'm like, spill it. You could tell me. He's like, well, with all this stuff going on, this, that, and the other. And I looked at him, I said, this is what I tell everybody. I said, I don't affiliate with any of that. And I said, if we have to dream the world we wish to bring into being. And I said, if every human being at the same time or at some point in time in one day took 5 to 10 minutes to just say, okay, I'm going to open my heart and send love to every living sentient being, every living thing. And I'm going to stay in this space for 5 to 10 minutes. You can shift the reality in which we're living in. This all goes away.
Absolutely.
And he just looked at me he's like, hmm. And what I do. I just, and I'm very much at peace with everything because I know it's all going to work out. I know everything is happening in divine order, and it's all, and I'm spending, and I did it in a workshop I just had over the weekend. I did a multidimensional healing workshop explaining people about multidimensional healing. And in that workshop, I just ended up doing a meditation that I just was not expecting to do. And um, there was probably about 25 people in the room. And we were in this really small room. But there are people who came specifically for that. And then they kind of just left the event. But I knew that I was able to be a catalyst from my heart. And that little bit I know gave them whatever they needed to live a little more in the space of the heart with peace, their truth, to release fear and to overcome and release the paradigms and the belief systems that no longer serve humanity, don't
Mhm.
serve us, that have held this in that space of fear, control, all of that.
Yeah.
We create our reality.
Yeah. Well, and it's so true. And I really appreciate what you said because I've thought a lot about this and I've thought, what is in like you said, like we can look around and say, oh, this is crazy and this is crazy and this is out of control and this is out of control. But when I bring my attention back to my own energy, when I bring my attention back to what's happening right now, and most people who are listening will can have this experience because the truth is right here where I am right now, I'm supported and safe and loved.
Mhm.
And yet the messaging that's trying to get our attention can say that can tell us if we keep listening that that's not true and we start to believe it. But if we like bring our energy in and we just sit in the space that we're in and we bring our attention to our heart and we put our hand on our heart and we really feel into what is the space right here, it's a totally different experience. And that's why I feel like it's so important for us to disconnect from these messages that want us to be in fear, that want us to feel fearful so that we'll continue to tune in and we'll continue to feel enraged and we'll continue to, you know, be um be in fight or flight like there's a bear chasing us and it's not
Mhm.
necessary. And I think and I sometimes I think, well, am I doing enough? But I thought, but then I think if everybody did that, if everybody just like centered themselves in
Mhm.
their own energy in that space of who we truly are, because at our core everyone at their core is love. Even
Yes.
the people that you see acting
Yes.
out and doing terrible things at their core, at the
Yes.
divine core is love.
Yes.
And their spark might be the teeniest, tiniest pilot light that's being
Mhm. Mhm.
ignored so that they can do these crazy things. But if everybody tuned into that, wow, what a beautiful world we would have.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
You're all.
so it helps me to feel
Mhm.
like, okay, maybe I'm not being selfish. Maybe I'm being in this space of centered so I can be an example for others so that I can cultivate that for myself, so I can cultivate that for the people that I come in contact with.
Exactly. You can tap into one person, but that one person causes that ripple effect. Your words cause a ripple effect. Your actions cause a ripple effect. Like when I start my day and when I work with people, one of the first things I always say is place your hands on your heart and say, and I do this grounding process and I always say, I am love in thought, word, deed, and action. And I say it every single day because your cells absorb and take that energy on, and we can program ourselves.
Yeah.
So do we want to, because that's the mind, the emotions, the thoughts. You are what you think, you are what you eat, you are what you do. That's creation. And I always say that I am love and thought, word, deed, and action.
So we're
I
going to
am
slow that down
presence.
for just a minute.
Yep.
I am love in thought, word, deed, and action. Is that
Hmm.
right? Okay.
Yep.
Love that.
I am presence. And um, so one of the grounding things I tell everybody to do is you can put your hands on heart, close your eyes, start doing your breathing, and I'll say, I direct all parts of me to be here now. My I am presence, my source self, my God self, my galactic self, my child, my teen, my adult, my inner child. All parts of me are here now. All parts of me are here now. All parts of me are here now. I am here now. I am here now. I am here now. I am whole. And
Mm,
as soon as you do that, a, a lot of people just start to feel this like wave come down, and they'll say, well, I'm starting to feel pressure. I said, because you're being grounded. You're bringing all parts of you back into your body. You're connecting with all your soul aspects and your soul pieces and your soul parts. This is part of the multidimensionality because this is not the only soul we're embodied in.
yeah.
You know, it's elsewhere. You know, you're in, everything's happening at once. Um, Man created linear time,
Yeah.
so it you become fully here. And then when you start breathing into it, you know, I had some people that could feel their feet being pulled down, like someone was pulling their feet down and they had weights under their feet. I'm like, yeah, because you're being grounded, you're being pulled back into your body. Um, and I was one always all over the place. And I'm an earth sign, and I have a lot of earth. I have 5 earth signs in my chart, but I, because I didn't want to be here. I
Mm,
just, I didn't. And I would say that. I'm like, can I just not wake up tomorrow? And so, and it was interesting to have helped kind of be almost like a big sister mother to someone who didn't want to be here and chose to take their own life at 18.
mm,
Um, so I believe most people have always had, at some point in your life, have had those types of thoughts because you just, if something happens or you just think it's the end of the world and you're like, I'm done. I don't want to be here. Like, why am I here? And many old souls are just like, what did I agree to do? Why did agree to come back here? Like, what was I thinking of? So, um, and I know why now. I am grateful. And this is the best time to be alive. We get to witness and experience so many things that are humbling, blissful, compassion, um, it just to watch one end of the spectrum to the other end of the spectrum, you're experiencing everything, and I'm talking major polar. And I
mm,
keep telling everybody, we're at this extreme. We can't go any further. And what's happening now is we're starting to come closer and closer to center and neutrality. And some of us are now living like this. Others are still doing this, or they're all the way out here and are struggling to come back.
mm,
But so we're experiencing all the polar extremes. And my goal is to help people be able to get, because this is where we're going. We're going to where we're not doing this anymore, and we can rarely ever get here to being able, we come out, but then you can check yourself in. You can have that thought, you can have that action, and all of a sudden you're like, well, wait a minute. What am I doing? I know my tools. Take a step back, let me observe, let me breathe. And rather than taking you years and years or weeks and months, you're going to be able to say, okay, I'm here for about 10, 15, 20 minutes or even a minute. And you're like, back to center. And then eventually we'll be doing this.
Yeah. So as you're demonstrating this and you're showing us like out here, is that signifying like these polar um we might call it ego things that kind of pull us out
Yeah.
of our divine center? Is that what you're
Yeah,
referring to?
it's the shadow, um, ego, shadow, all of that. No different than it's separation,
Yeah.
right? So no different than what you're seeing play out in the world with many things. Um, we're all one. We're all part of the whole. And you can have negative aspects, positive aspects. Some people say good, bad, evil, light, dark, and you're going to have aspects of that. But for me, it's we're getting away from the extremes of it. And in order to do that, we're releasing all the old paradigms, all the old belief systems that have kept us that way. So
Hmm.
fear, love. Yeah, you're going to have some aspects of fear, but we're getting to a place where, okay, if that creeps up in me, I'm able to check myself back in and have a love for myself and compassion for myself, not judge myself, not criticize myself, not saying,
Yeah.
oh, you're so stupid. Why did you even do that? Blah, blah, blah. Like that critiquing that really takes you into that dark space or that depression or those lower frequencies. Um, you'll and when you go start to go there, like I'll be like, Michelle, and I'm like, you know what? Lesson learned. I just have to be patient and I have to do one thing at a time and not try to do three things at once. And then I put in 10, 15 minutes, it's done. It's done, it's passed, you move on. And you're able to move through things and your reaction to things is so instead of us reacting from rage or anger, you get to react from a much softer space, or you think before you react. And you're
Hmm.
like, wait a minute, let me just take a step back. Let me observe this from a higher perspective, from the eagle's view, and take a look at this because I don't have to respond right away. And we listen more, listen to your heart more. You go in and listen more. And when you can learn to listen from within, you're able to be a better listener for others.
Hmm.
But we spent so many lifetimes and generations and eons, especially like women and even children, like children are to be seen but not heard, not being able to use our voice or express ourselves. And that's part of all of this. That those days are over. Like it's about being able to stand in your power with grace,
Hmm.
love, and at times, if you have to, assertiveness. But it's assertiveness, not being aggressive. There's a
Yeah.
difference between assertive and aggressive. So
Yeah.
aggressive would be like this spectrum. Assertive's more in here. Aggressive's like out here.
Right.
So we're
Right.
we're learning to come back to that oneness and that wholeness. And if you ever feel like that it's not there, we're not going so far out from it, and we're able to come back to center much more easily. Um, yeah. And when you do that with yourself, well, you're not projecting. And if you're projecting patience, compassion, non-judgment, love, peace, listening, observation. That's what you're going to project.
Hmm.
Um,
Yeah. I think some of what we're seeing that's being um, projected to us, in this kind of the fear-based state, is a lot of this polarity. We're seeing a
mhm.
lot of this polarity in society. What's fascinating to me as I go about my day-to-day life, I don't see that or feel that.
Yep.
But then if you turn on the news, that's the
Mhm.
prime example, right? If you turn on the news, it's like the world is on fire. And
Mhm.
and in many ways I feel like what is happening at that level is showing us what we don't want.
Mhm. Yeah.
You know, and when we choose not to engage in it or
Mhm.
engage it, or if we're someone, because I do feel like there are people who are called to
Mhm.
engage in some of these structures that are eventually going to shift and change. I do feel like there's people that feel called to be involved in these situations that are so unhealthy that we're, seeing play out on the news. Um, but the more and more that we as people, as individuals, choose not to engage in the polarity of it, in the extremes of it, the more and more that people who do feel called to intervene and help in these arenas bring love and light to those
Mhm.
situations, the less and less we're choosing into that, the less and less there's going to be. You know, it's it's this age-old example of, fighting fire with fire. All you do is get a bigger fire.
Yep. Whatever
All
you
you do
feed.
is build the bonfire.
Yep.
But if so we have to start looking at our own approach. How are we approaching these things on a day-to-day basis, on a minute-by-minute basis? What are we choosing to engage in? What are we choosing to uphold? Because we're upholding these structures when we are engaging with them.
Mhm.
And so, yeah, fascinating. I just find it all fascinating. What part of your work right now, because at the beginning you introduced yourself and you talked about all these modalities that you've learned, and then I'm just curious, what part of your work are you most excited about right now?
So it's funny you should say that because I'm finding things are, I'm going through a lot of changes and I'm not quite sure where I'm going to land. And I know there's a lot of people that are in that. And um, one of the things that I'm very passionate about is I do what's called the rite of the womb. So this is one of the munay-Ki rites, and that is where we heal our womb and all the pain and the trauma and the suffering that has been brought in through generations, lifetimes, and lineage. And we connect with a lineage of women over 2,000 years ago that have come to us in the ethers to deliver this right to help free us from this pain and suffering so we can be the courageouses that we came here to be to get to a point where we can children can be birthed from a pure vessel. So
Mm,
you're clearing and healing that from the womb in which you came through, your own womb, and those who came through your womb, and the wombs of the waters of the earth. So you're doing it for Mother Earth as well. Um, so, and I'm being drawn to deliver more of the munay-Ki rights, but that's one of them, and that's one of them that I'm extremely passionate about. And I think a lot of that's too is because it's having gone through a hysterectomy and all. You have stuff from that. Um, and that's helped me heal a lot. And I've watched a lot of women go through their own healing process. And I watched certain things with my mother clear and heal. And it's just, it's important and it's powerful. And we're creating for the children of the future. And I'm very passionate about the children. I connect with the newer children that come in with all these gifts and I've worked with 9-year-olds and 10-year-olds that have all of these um and that's where I feel like I'm going to end up over time working more and more with the children. But I don't, the multidimensional healing is really what I love to do. Um, I mean, when I did that workshop, I was in my element.
Yeah.
And there was people, I'm able to tap into people, help them open up their heart. And when I do the multidimensional healing, I do the light language, whether I write it or speak it, people get a lot of healing that goes very deep into their soul. I mean, I'm talking healing lifetimes and even lifetimes in which they were on other planetary systems and not just Earth.
Hmm.
So, and there's people in that room that are like, that was Syrian. I connected with that, you know, especially when I wrote out the light language one, and they're like, that's Syrian, and it just, and I was like so shocked to see so many people talk about different things and connect with it. And there was a 15-year-old in the room,
Hmm.
but that 15-year-old has so many, and who's homeschooled because she's that sensitive, has all those amazing gifts and all, but can't be in the school. Just can't handle being in the school system. So they homeschool her. And and by the time we were done, I could see this shift in her. And I can see people who came in that were kind of tired. And when they left, they were like bright-eyed and energized and like ready to do things. And that fills my heart when I can sit there with people and know that they're moving through things that they've carried forever or carried lifetimes, or and a lot of times it's people who are doing the work for their family and their lineage. They're like us, like the only one, like that one in the family. Some may call it the black sheep, whatever you want to, but they're the one in the family that's doing this and no one else. Most of the others aren't, but they chose to come here to do that healing for the lineage and her family.
Yeah.
So yeah, I could go on and on about that stuff.
Yeah.
It's
Is
just
there
like my
is it possible for you to give us a little demonstration or a little example of the light language that you're talking about?
yeah. So I'm going to ask you to close your eyes
Okay.
and place your hands on your heart and start breathing in through your nose and out through your mouth and expand your heart. And we're going to ask for light language activation to release and let go old paradigms, old belief systems, all thoughts, feelings, and emotions from all spaces, places, lifetimes, and timelines that no longer serve us, that may be blocking any of our chakras, our purpose, our divine mission, our truth, and then knowing that we are love. We are whole. We are oneness. We are unity consciousness, freedom consciousness, abundance consciousness, prosperity consciousness, Christ consciousness, oneness and wholeness. Deep breath in. Allow that to fill your emotional body, your spiritual body, your physical body, your mental body, and all the spaces in between the spaces in your DNA. And open your eyes.
Wow. That was powerful. And for those that are listening, if you are driving, when you get where you're going, stop, rewind, put your hand on your heart, and follow along.
Yes.
Beautiful. Thank you for sharing that.
My
That's
pleasure.
amazing. That's
You're
amazing.
welcome.
How did that I've heard other people talk about light language. I've heard it demonstrated before. I'm just curious, how did that show up for you?
So I believe it was, so when I was going to the Reiki shares, there were two people there that were already speaking it, and they were working with me and doing sessions with me. And then I started working with a woman in Arizona um, who was speaking it as well. Um, and then all of a sudden, I believe it was in between my Reiki master and my integrated energy therapy level one that oh yeah, it was. I had just finished IET level one and I was working on a client and who was doing energy work at the time, and she said to me, "Will you just let it go? Just let it fly out of your mouth." Because everything I could hear it in my head, but I just was nervous about saying it out loud.
Mhm.
But it started out as I these loud pitches and loud tones would come out of my mouth that go higher than a singing bowl.
Hmm.
Um, and you literally, like, I could do it now and someone could hear it outside, and I have all the windows closed. Um, and then I just started to let it come out. And the more I relaxed into it, I would just allow it to come out. And the more that I did that, it opened up to more and more. Um, and then I started writing it. And what I realized was, is all the doodling that I would do in class, like all this stuff, all the symbols I would draw and all, it was all light language.
Interesting.
And I would do the same ones all the time. And then I was having memories of all that. I'm like, I used to do this in class because I, school was, I didn't, I didn't resonate with school.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of things. And it was the same thing when I would sit in church and all, and I'm like, no, I just this doesn't work for me. Like, and 50% of it, I'd be like, okay, maybe. And then the other parts, I'm like, So I was like, and that would be a lot of it because my soul knew, like, it knew what was truth, what wasn't truth. And when I say that, I mean it was my truth. Everybody has their own truth, but and we need to tap into our own truth. Our truth is not something that's outside of us. It's within us. And so just and I would do things as a kid, and I'm like, everything would just start coming back, and I'm like, man, that's all this weird. And I thought it was weird, but I would
Yeah.
like talk to things. I mean, if I could tell you some of the stuff I did, it's just, but it was all remembering and all. So, and I was very artistic. So then I just started writing it, and then I would give it to people, or like, I don't know what that is, but I can feel that when I hold it or look at it, and I don't know
Mhm.
what all of it is, and I'm okay with that because we don't have to know what everything is. We just have to just be.
Yeah.
And when you can be present, the humanness wants to know every single thing, and it's in here. It's feeling it. It's hearing it. It's sensing it. It's touching it. It's smelling it. It's using all the senses.
Hmm.
Um, so it's heart mind coherence. Let through the heart. Let it all do that. And then the heart will send what it needs to send to the brain, not the
Yeah.
opposite.
Beautiful. Beautiful. Yeah. When I work with clients, like we really focus in on the heart and then just that light and just allowing that to kind of cleanse and clear the whole body. Like the heart center is so powerful and it's so connected to divine source, divine energy, divine light. Yeah, it's beautiful. Thank you so much. A couple of things before we go. First of all, is there any last minute thing that you want to share before we go? And then also share how people can connect with you.
Um, I, I would. one of the things I do want to share is live your life as if everything around you is shining brightly and everything is a potential. Everything's a possibility because everything is. Have a process where you just wake up and no matter what, you have set that intention that it's going to be a good day. It's going to be a great day. And it's going to be filled with so many blessings and possibilities, no matter what. Even if something feels like a detour, just breathe and enjoy being here because it's a gift to be here, and just choose to live in that space and radiate it out. And enjoy your life and don't allow the outside to dictate how you're going to feel, how you're going to live, don't let it take away your joy and your peace. Yeah, that's very important. So
that's very wise. A lot of wisdom there. Thank you.
You're welcome. I can be reached at www.earthangelhealingllc.com. And I am on Instagram, but I don't know, and I'm not on there that often. And I'm on Facebook, but I'm under Earth Angel Healing LLC on Facebook. I also have my own personal page as well. But the best way to get me is my website, and I offer I have free resources out there. I have some free light language activations in my shop section, and I have one for the 99 portal, which is free and is a good one to listen to. And I have, a bunch of other different resources and things like that. So
wonderful, wonderful. Well, one of the things that's interesting is we recorded previously, and because of some technical difficulties, we came back and did a whole new recording. And that was, I don't even remember how many weeks or days it's been since we did the first one, but I just feel like this was meant to happen. And I just want to thank you so much for
yes.
being here today and for being patient in the process. And I'm just really grateful. Thank you.
Oh, I'm grateful as well. Thank you very much. This was awesome. Oh, and I always just love connecting with you. So like-minded souls.
That's right.